I got the new Snake Mountain, ooh ah, and I have the old Snake Mountain, ooh ah, and we're gonna do some comparisons to compare the two Snake Mountains and see what features are better, which are worse, talk about measurements and sizing and figure placement. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Before I do though, let me quickly log into YouTube on my iPad so I can see what you guys are saying. Let's see, my channel. There it is. Hey, Mr. Feelings, thanks for joining us. Let's see who else is on here. Juan Solo, Master Far, Mr. Santos, Ronald, thanks for all being here and joining me for another episode of my show with Hebro. All right, so let's go ahead and scoot this closer for a second. I'll probably have to do some panning out. Well, you know what? Before we get going, let's just pan this right out and take a look here. Let me move my iPad over here. Hey, Weird Fantastic Toy Adventure, thanks for joining us. Hey, Philip, thanks for being here. So you can see here, there are the two castles side by side. If you take a look, you can tell that that one over there, purple, is a little bit more reddish, and this one's more purplish. Now, I'm really glad that they went with this darker purple. I actually like that better than the reddish purple, but I like it way better than the pink one they showed us online. So I do like the new coloring that they decided to go with on this. It does look a whole lot better. All right, let me go and get back zoomed in so I can actually touch the castles while we're taping this. So let's first talk about some of the features on the outside. So one feature on the outside that I actually do like that surprises me is the shackles. They actually made them out of rubber, and it's nice because the other ones they had originally in the toy were like a hard plastic that could easily snap and break and would break really easily. In fact, this was like the biggest broken piece out of all the stuff in the past. You see a ton of these online with broken shackles all the time, either broken here at the pin or one in the middle somewhere or where it hooks up here, but usually right here where it connects. And it's because of the stress that comes up right here in this corner, but these are all rubbery, so that is a nice, cool feature. All right. Why didn't they include the table? I don't know. So obviously I'm gonna have to make the table too. It's one of the things I have to make in this is people were telling me yesterday, you gotta make the table. We got the chair, and the chair is really cool, except for a couple things. One is the chair itself just is an amazing sculpt, except for the hollow parts in the back here. And it's really how long they made these pins for these skull pieces. I guess they're not going to come out anytime soon. That's nice. But when he sits in there, it just doesn't fit quite right. His head is smacked up against the back of this head, so it fits either better on one side or the other when you place him in there. So he has to kind of sit like he's lounging back for it to fit because it's such a short chair. But anyway, it is cool though. I'm glad they included it. It's kind of a fun nod to the Filmation thing, so that's pretty cool. Another thing that's kind of cool and different with the new one is this cool little entrance right here. Now, when the toy was originally made, and let's go and talk about the original toy in comparison. Oh, Beastman just fell in the trap door up there. You can see him sitting down here on the bottom because I don't have it open right now. Let me go and grab our book of knowledge. Let's take a look at the comparison of why this is how it is. I'll be right back. You guys can stare at those holes while I jump away and grab my book. The Power and Honor Foundation, Nation. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite books when it comes to He-Man memorabilia. In fact, when this book was released, the people that did it, they actually went out and bought a bunch of the artwork and had some of it touched up, fixed up, everything else, and they were trying to restore it to the highest quality possible they could, and then they decided to release these books. This is volume 1, and of course, they never got to volume 2 because they got a cease and desist order from Mattel saying, hey, whoa, you can't do that. Even though they bought the artwork, they could not show it because technically they did not own the rights to it, to create a book, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, I love this book. If you can ever find one online, don't hesitate to buy it. It is well worth having. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the play sets. Where are those play sets? I think I passed them. You know, I could use a table of contents, but then you guys couldn't see how cool this book actually is all the way through. There they are. There's the play sets. Well, here was the original design for Snake Mountain. And I want you to notice this side right here is very similar to how Snake Mountain really is, but this side is completely different. So you can see it has the bridge going across, and look at the hole right here, it has a rock. If you look really close, you can see a spot that would be like a button you would push in order to release the rock and pop it out of its spot, I'm guessing. So it had the cool bridge, and then this side, of course, was all different. In fact, they had a whole different place that they were thinking about, and this is what ended up being the other side, was this other playset. So originally this playset was supposed to be a jungle theme, not Snake Mountain at all. And so let's take a look with that in mind of this jungle theme playset. You can see you got the snake, you got the entrance here, you have the boulder in the hole, you got the bridge going here, and all the other parts. So let me go and close the book on that. And let's take a look here. And so imagine, if you will, that boulder would sit right inside this hole right here, and then this right here was the way probably to release it or pop it out or something. I'm not sure exactly what, maybe something else hooked on there, but that was the concept. And then of course we still got the snake, and the door has been changed from the original design, but it's still the same kind of deal. So that was the original design of it and why they went ahead and did that. Dude, Jungle Mountain exists. It was more jungle, less lava. Yes. Mattel. That Mattel. You got it, Jay. So in the new one, because it's based on our old Snake Mountain from our childhood, still has the hole, but for a different purpose. There's no extra little hole here for the releasing the rock or whatever it was. But they gave us this rubbery stuff, which works really good coming this way through, but not so good going this way through. It kind of gets caught because the way it's designed. You can see how the design actually goes up and over the top in this little area here, and then it's hooked into the mountain itself. So the round part of the hole is on the other side of it. So this is just hooked to one side. So kind of an interesting design, kind of cool. All right, so that is that for the hole. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Now my table's a little small here. I apologize for that. I was hoping to get a bigger table for this, but my plans did not work. So we have our bridge. You can see it doesn't come with these many pieces normally, but I had to buy a bunch in order to get one set that worked. And they had it so it was like Hot Wheel tracks. So you take and you slide this in, and it was kind of a clever design because basically with this sliding action, you can then make it so that you can fold it up and not have to remove the bridge in order to do it. So let's get him out of there. Now, of course, these do not belong to the set. These are from Classics, and I used to use these to stack up some stuff. So let's set that aside. Now, there was no floors inside here originally, so that was not a thing. The only floor we had was this right here. Wow, I still got a battery in there. Does this actually work? Oh, it still works. That battery's been in there for years. Holy cow. Oh, the power of Snake Mountain. This is the microphone. Oh, so annoying. Oh, I'll turn that back off. We'll play with that later. So, let's turn it back around and stay on the front side, and we'll get to the back side later. Now that we got our bridge. So this hooks on here into these little holes right here. We got a hole right here, plugs right in, and a hole over here that will plug into once I get to that side. There we go. And there it is. Hooray. And now you want to adjust this so that the bridge is at the proper angle So that is the way the snake mountain should look. And like I said before, when you went to close it, it would just disconnect right there like that. So you can fold it up and never pull these off, which was a very clever design. Yeah, the guys in the 80s, they had some pretty cool designs. All right, so let's take a look now. So we have our snake here. And the snake has one movement. It just comes across and basically attacks a guy. Sorry, Beast Man, you're going down. And where's my microphone? Oh, sorry, you guys. There we go. And basically this just comes around and attacks him. One articulation point. Kind of cool. Easy to use. Let's slide this over and let's go to the other new snake. And let's take out the articulation on this snake. Oh, I dropped my light. Are you laughing at me? You are, aren't you? My wife is over here laughing at me and we're dropping everything. It's nice. I think my wife wonders how I survived the day.
Yep.
Oh, you do, huh? All right, let me get my light back together. And you will continue. All right. This goes there. That goes there. That goes there. All right, my light's reassembled. I am ready to go. All right, so this new snake is quite a lot larger. You can see the difference in the sizes. I dropped my wolf microphone. You can see the difference in the size of the snakes from this small one to this one that's at least twice as big, especially the face of it. You can kind of see that. Now, the articulation, though, is quite a bit different. Let me show you this. Let me show you. So I thought it would slide back and forth. Is what it shows in the directions. It shows the snake coming in on the play mode. And it looks like it's sliding in and attacking from this thing here, but it's actually not. It's actually coming down. Now, some people online contacted me and said there's more articulation than you think, Hebrew, so I decided to mess with it today. And they were right. There's a little bit more articulation, but not a lot. So it does articulate in the mouth, obviously. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And it does articulate right here in this spot right here. So those are the places it articulates. Now it also articulates going up and down this way from the inside of the castle, but it's really tight. So you can see you can move the serpent up and down this way as well. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but it does work that way. So the stinky part is you just can't bring it around and jam him right in there. You have to kind of arch him up and then arch him over, and then you can attack He-Man that way. So it's not the cool slam into him and smash him through the door like we're used to seeing with the 80s one. So major fail on this not having an articulation point that actually goes up and allows him to pivot this way all the way back and forth. That would have been a cool articulation point. Now, I don't know if the engineers can figure it out or what was going on, but the mouth is cool. I love the mouth being able to open and close. That adds some huge bonus points. So, big snake, awesome. Collar kind of weird, but it's match filmation. That's why they have it that way. And then as far as articulation goes, let me get this around again. You can move it that way to get it further away. So I guess you have to kind of do a compound move up and over at the same time to get into attack. So you boom back, down, and down. You can get them further away. All right, so we covered the snake. The snake. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Weird Toy Adventure says he will eventually paint the snake on his. Awesome. They had time to paint the wolf. They did. J. Mattel are cheap. Yes. All that work and they couldn't bother to paint the snake. At least the eye. Give us a painted eye. Even a sticker, a decal, something. You're right. But it's supposed to be made of stone, so I kind of get why it's not painted. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the door. The door. So, we'll talk about the new one first since the camera's already focused here. Let's go ahead and have He-Man stand as tall as he can, put his hands over his head. Put your hands up, and you can see how tall this door is right here. Having a tape measure right here. Oop. He-Man decided to dive to his doom. And so let's measure how wide this is. Now I have inches on this side, and I have my centimeters on this side. So let's take a look here. Whoop. So it's 9 centimeters from top to bottom, approximately 7.5 inches. Oops, I'm sorry, 19 centimeters. So I was not born on the metric system. And so about 7.5 inches. So that's a pretty good sized door. And let's talk about the actual wolf on here. Very detailed, nice sculpting on there. And they have a click spot right here. So when you pull it open, you can see there's some plastic ridges right in there. Let me zoom in so you guys can see that. There's some plastic ridges right here that catch the door and hold it open. So it doesn't keep closing on you accidentally. And they have the same ridges on the other side if you open it the other way. Actually, there's no ridges on that side, but it just swings. So it's probably made to open forward, but it goes either direction. Oh, there we go. Now, once you get the door open, you can see it's got a small little platform to stand here, and then you have your trap door on the inside there. So there is a little bit of room to stand. Now, if the door opens in, you're going to be smacking people off the castle because there's no way to get around this door very easily to get in. So I would imagine it makes more sense to kick the door in than it does to have the door come out. Oh, it's kind of hard to get. There we go. All right, now let's go to the other door on the other castle. We will slide this back over. Bring this one over. Zoop, zoop. Move the snake of awesomeness. And now it's going to be a little harder to tell the height because this trap door is a little bit flimsy. And so it does kind of go down a little bit. So you have to kind of hold his feet up. And you can see his hands just touch the top. So it's a little bit shorter. That his hands can touch the top if you actually set him in there like that. Let's go and check the height. Remember the last one is 7.5 inches. This one is just under 7 inches, 6 3/4. So it's a little bit shorter, about 3/4 of an inch shorter than the other side. So there you go for your height. All right. So now let's talk about some other cool aesthetic features. Now, obviously, He-Man has to fight his way up this trench, across this rickety bridge, and all the way up to get to this platform. So how high is this platform from the base? That's what I want to know. So let's go ahead and check that height. Zoop. We have 10 1/4 inches, or 16 centimeters. And over here, we have 11.5 inches, or 29 centimeters, 29.5 centimeters. So that gives you an idea that this one is much taller. So that's cool. Which means if you created a spot for your lava flow here, it's probably not going to work as well for this one because this is actually quite a bit taller than this one in that area. Because this is a little taller than the ledge here, and this one over here is the same size as the ledge. So you can see the lava area is a lot taller on this side. All right, well that was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at the other side now. I'll move these two models out of the way. So here we have the scary weird looking face that looks like Alf from the 80s TV show. I'm Alf. And we have sticker eyes. I can't believe I still have the stickers on there. And you can look at how they look. Very ominous. Oh. I love all the coloring they have in it. It looks like the color of the Eternia sky. A red eye, little star flames on the inside of the pupil there. And then we have black around there and a little white shine spot. And the paint job is cool. As you can see, the paint job on this side, we have our blacks, our purples, our grays. This weird slots right here is actually for the speaker inside there. Then we have the mouth that's supposed to be articulated by grabbing the back of this. Ugh. Let me scoot my camera over here so you guys can see. So there is the mouth movement for the old castle. Now normally there would be some shackles here, and you can see I have a piece of a shackle sticking out with the hard plastic, and this one's just completely missing. No, I didn't actually try to complete the snake mountain, so I don't have all the pieces. And then of course we have the wolf's head that looks more like a mouse. It does look very mouse-like, doesn't it? But it's supposed to be a wolf of some sort. All right. So that is all cool. Let's go ahead and look at the other castle. Okay, over to this side. So on this one, let's look at the eyes first. The eyes are different, but still cool. They don't have quite the same shiny gloss look that the other ones do, but you can see it has the white spine shine in the same spot. Doesn't quite have the star look on it. It looks a little bit kind of cloudier, but still it works. The nose is not as pronounced, doesn't stick out as far, but the mouth is way more articulated than the other one. You can see this mouth has a whole lot more movement. In fact, when I was messing with it the other day, it actually got in the way of He-Man climbing up this area here. In fact, it actually knocked him off. So this mouth could actually be used to knock somebody off. I'm probably yelling at the microphone. Knock them off of the path. Now, something this one does have, the other one does not, and that is foot pegs. You'll notice these foot pegs all along the path. And everywhere there's a foot peg, there is an opening. And I don't understand what that was for. I don't know if that's just because of the design to make it flat, they had to do that because they couldn't make it curved in that area. That's what I'm guessing. But the foot pegs, so far I've tried them, they don't actually work as prescribed, but they still are cool. They have them there for an option. Let's go ahead and try the Beastie Man. Stick his foot peg in there. And you can see it does help him stand. So that's kind of cool. It's just not a lot of room. I mean, even the foot pegs there, the snout's in the way to even get him to stand up there. I guess you'd put him on this side probably and have him climbing up. But if you're going to have him go this way, there's a foot peg right here already. So, all right. Let's look at your guys' comments. How could they mess up the foot pegs? That is an excellent question. My Pet Monster. Yeah, it does look like My Pet Monster. That's hilarious. All right. So one more thing to check out, which is the feature of the whole entire thing, and that is the bridge. The bridge. Now, this bridge is a dangerous drop of 4 3/4 inches or 12 centimeters down. So monstrous drop. This bridge over here, a little bit harder to quantify because it's kind of a flopsy mopsy, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and we will stack it. We will straighten it out as if it was nice, brand new, hasn't been destroyed yet toy. And it is 3 3/4 or about close to 10 centimeters, 9.5 approximately. So let's talk about how long the gauntlet is. You have to walk. Oh, I just knocked the wrong microphone again. So this gauntlet is approximately 11 inches long on this side and 11 inches long on that side. So they made them pretty comparable. Let's see if I can get this back out of there. Ugh. Size-wise for the two bridges. Oh yeah, look at that. They are almost the same size. Good job, Mattel. They did something right on, because this was the cool part of the toy, was having this extra long bridge. As you know, with classics, it's super short. You know what? Let me go grab the classics one, but you guys examine how cool these are. And I'll be right back with the classics one so you guys can see the difference. All right, here's the classics one. Remember, the classics one's made for bigger figures, so it is wider. But as far as how long it goes, it only goes a little more than half the distance, and it's not curved. It goes straight across. So it does force the classics castle to be straight instead of having a nice little bend in it. But anyway, there's the classics one, so you guys can see all the different ones. Now the classics one is a great job on different coloring and paints, of course, because it's very model-like. Oh, it's got a rope on the bottom. Look at the little details they had. That's so cool. Anyway, let's put that over there. Now I do like that the Mattel one, the new one, is green, and it's a little more rubbery, not super rubbery, but hopefully it's not going to break as easy as these ones that always broke. You can see I got a ton of broken ones. They just snap off, usually here in the middle, and then also right at the ends of the poles. So, and you can see I tried to fix this one with some 3D gray stuff. It just did not work. Unfixable. All right, let's put it back together. Let's put it back together, shall we? Let's look at your comments while I'm doing this. You had one job. One job, classics. You made the bridge too small and the cage too small. Yeah. Yeah, I know. The classics had some cool stuff, but Super 7 kind of did some errors on there. Snake Mountain. I do like the way that one attaches, though. It seems to attach nicer than just these little pegs that you know are going to end up breaking. They always do. All right, I think that's it on this side. Look at your guys' comments. See Slime Hunter saying, "Hey Todd, hey Slime Hunter. It should have been wider. It's narrow for figures. Snake Mountain should have been at least 6 inches taller and deeper. The Classics looks better than with the Origins figures." Yes, the Classics looks amazing with the Origins figures. That is for sure. But when you're talking size and height, I gotta admit, they made the new one quite a bit taller. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that before we dive into the internals of this toy. I'm going to put this one in front because it's smaller. Put this one behind. And you can see how much taller the other Snake Mountain is. Even the top of the door is taller, and then also it has the mountain going up and over above it. And then on both sides, it sticks past. This side you can see it's hanging past on that side, and it's hanging past a little bit on this side. So it is wider and it is taller than the original Snake Mountain. So that's cool too, because the original Snake Mountain was a little bit small. Now it's funny, many people have asked me, "Hey, you can make a floor for this?" And I'm still debating. There are other pieces I'm going to make, but when my kids were little, I actually did have a giant wood piece that was on wheels that fit this right here. And it was big. It was a big black piece, and it was rounded on this side and squared on the other. It just fit perfectly to put the whole entire Snake Mountain on. I don't have it anymore, but it was kind of cool. So let's talk about the old Snake Mountain first. They had these stickers that represented the floors. And then they had this net right here to catch your figure. No floor in the middle. But they did have this cool computer console that acted as a way, like a microphone, in order to scare your friends. Now I'm missing the battery cover, but let's go ahead and try this. So here's the wolf head. Oh, so like I said, it's more like a rat than a wolf. But basically, inside here is a spring. And this spring, or wire, or whatever it is, makes that crazy sound. Now, I remember when I was a kid, they had toy microphones you talk into. Hey, and it kind of makes an echo sound. But it'd be hollow inside here to make that echo sound. But this one actually has an actual microphone that then picks up right here and plays it out the front. So that's kind of cool. It uses a 9-volt battery to do it. And so, as a toy for a kid, you turn this on. And then you talk into the microphone. Dun, dun, dun. And as you shake it around, you can hear the wire in there. Oh, a little too close. This is Skeletor's Mountain. Oh, I turn it down a little bit. Oh, feedback. Feedback. Let me just turn it off. That's loud. So that was why they had the wolf. It was a microphone, and it's kind of cool. It has a place to hang and everything else. So that's a really fun feature. So not a lot going on inside here. This is the mouth control. That's pretty much about it that happens on inside here, except for the trapdoor. Sorry, He-Man, you are my trapdoor person. You get to fall to your death over and over again in the trapdoor. Make sure we got his hammock set up. There's a place to sleep. Now this hammock, you can roll it up to raise it up a little bit. So you get it just where you want it. Then you stick your figure in there, the unsuspecting He-Man. Have to really point his toes because it is really flipsy-flopsy. There we go. Then you pull this lever right here. And I missed. He missed the net. He fell to his doom. See, he falls in. Supposed to get caught in this net right here. Oh! And I'm going to unwind it all the way and try it again. Okay, let's see if we can catch him now. Does it open up anymore? Oh, it does. Okay. We will open this as wide as we can get it. We'll make that hammock work. All right, one more time. All right, drum roll. And here we go. Oh, we caught him in the net. Hooray. So, that was all the playability you had for the Snake Mountain. Awesome microphone, trapdoor, and fun stuff on the outside. There's more to this on the outside than on the inside. On to the next Snake Mountain. Arrgh. Imagine someone doing a whole entire video with that. That'd be crazy. Now see, I just opened this closest right up. Didn't even give it a second thought about these pieces hanging off the front. It's just so cool how you can just, you know, leave those on there. Now, of course, that probably leads to them breaking off easier, but it is kind of a cool feature. All right, on to the other Snake Mountain, the new one. Now, this one has a lot going on inside. I'm surprised all the cool features they have. Now, first of all, we have the computer over here, which does nothing. It's just for looks to look like the computer we had on the other one. Nothing really exciting about that. We got a floor here, and we have a cage underneath. Missing feature, trapdoor here, would have been awesome. I thought it was because it was a different color, but I guess not. Then we got a little spigot hole here to put it thrown in there. Now, I know everyone said, where's the table? Where's the table? But in reality, we didn't even get a throne last time. So that's kind of cool. We got the table, or the throne this time. And then we have our wolf to represent our microphone, but there is no microphone in it. You know, it would have been cool if they made a Bluetooth microphone and a Bluetooth speaker and somehow hook it to your phone or device or something, or just it works amongst itself. But, you know, the price is not that high, so I could see that. That probably would have added an extra, you know, 50, 60 bucks to it. They would add electronics to it. We got a cool spider. Down below, we got our cage. Ooh, ah. You can stick your figures in there. You are trapped, He-Man. Or, when we got our cool weapons rack, took me forever to figure out how to load the weapons in there right. They go at an angle. Otherwise, they don't fit right. And then we have the control for the mouth on this side. So that's the side here. Lots of play features. That alone makes it really cool. Now, I did complain about not a lot of height for this head. And the other one has tons of height because there's no middle floor. So technically, you have this whole area, and it's shorter than this for your figures to stand. But here, now I suppose they probably could have lowered that floor a little bit because there's still a lot of area down here. But then there wouldn't have been room for the cage. So they would have had to make the cage shorter too. So it's a give and take. But they did have more room to lower the floor a little bit. And it's a lot of headroom. But I guess if Skeletor is only going to sit up here in his little attic, I guess that's why they got that smaller area. All right, on the other side, we have dun, 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 a place for these cool monsters to sit in this vat of slime or acid pool. And it actually has ridges on it. So it's not just a sticker. That's really fun and cool. But it's supposed to be part of this one. I don't know why they didn't raise it to the same height. That would have made more sense. But that's all right. We're not here to make sense. This is just so it can fold up nicely. And then they have these little bumps that a figure can fit on instead. So that's cool too. So way more playability. No floor here. Surprised me a little bit. I kind of expected to see a floor here like you see in Classics. The emergency exit here. And it's not just round. And then we have our trapdoor. Trapdoor. All right, let's check it out. A little bit different play. Basically, he falls. And one fun feature about this trapdoor is it falls sideways instead of falling the other way. And it has this rock to pick it up and put it back in place. All right, so lots more play features on this side. So that's really cool. And there's something else. Oh, I almost forgot the main feature. Is this cage is removable and can go under the trapdoor. Now that is fun, but now I know why there's no floor there. Of course, the trapdoor would be in its way. So I'm surprised actually how well this works. Let me go ahead and make sure it's just shut all the way. So I don't want He-Man escaping too easily. Oh! But once he's in there, you can't close the door until he moves out of the way. And you can't pull it off because the door's in the way. So you got to pull him out, fix the door, put him back in. Yeah, there you go. And pretend like he's been in there the whole time. And then you can slide him back over. Oops. And put him back over on this side where the cage belongs. There we go. Trapped. All right, so now it's time for the judgment. Let's see. You guys put your votes in. 80 Snake Mountain or the 2003 Snake Mountain? And I'll give you a few minutes to decide. Let's suppose they were both available today for the same price. Which would you rather have? Do 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 do. Let's see what we got here coming in. Let's see. Nerdum says new for sure. Jay says Origins barely. New one all day. Andrew Hamill says 80s. Master Far says Origins. Pop Actress says Origins. Sold me with the throne, says Mr. Feelings. Awesome Toy Geek says 80s. Slime Hunter says Origins. Mike says Origins for the chair. Origins needs... No Origins. Need to open mine. Get yours open, man. It's so cool. Get it open. You got a nice weekend coming up. Open your Snake Mountain. Have some fun. Juan Soto says 2003. Nguyen says 2003. Captain Paisley says Origins. Wookie Sasquatch. I do love your name, man. That is so cool. The new one. But I do wish the snake had some yellow detailing like the original. Yes. And the original one also had this eye painted too. Look at that. Not only the yellow line, also the articulation of it spinning around. I mean, I know this one has more articulation, but just the wrong articulation. All right, let's take a look at some more. Hey, Todd, can you please try the throne with the Masterverse figure? I'm going to actually make a whole entire video on this Snake Mountain and different figures, both classics, Masterverse, Origins, and some other figures from a different line completely. So that video is coming up about how other figures from different lines fit with the new Snake Mountain. So just hold up. That will be soon. Soon. Let's see. It's the only one I'm getting, 2003. The Origins looks disappointing since the wait we had. Like we're getting pumped for a disappointment. Bum, bum, bum. Todd, you should see my third wall. Pop Actor, put it on the lounge, man. I want to see it. Jeff said none. I don't want any. Philip said both. It has an interior that isn't hogged by the microphone gimmick. Yes, Jeff, neither. I want to know Snake Mountain. Guess I should put the snake down. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. All right, let's take a look here. Todd, paint the eyes. Jeff, no Snake Mountain? I don't count, Mike. You count, man. Make it right size, and yes. Yes. If it was the size of classics, it would totally rock. I have to admit, when it comes to the new Snake Mountain, I love the new cage. It's awesome. I love the mouth articulation. I like the mouth of the snake. I like the big door. I like the piece on top that makes it look more like a mountain. I like this is actually one piece, even though earlier I complained that I liked it when it comes apart. I do like the rubber in the front of where the hole is. I don't like the foot pegs. I know people like foot pegs. I personally hate foot pegs because it takes away from the aesthetic. Because if you're looking at a model, you don't want foot pegs blocking it. It's not like you're trying to keep the homeless from sleeping on the mountain, so you put these little spiked pegs on there. I'm just not a fan. I like the rubber chains. They work perfect for that. The wolf head is better sculpted, but I don't know. It's just weird the way they made it. And I don't like there's no net. And I think that's really it. The net. So as you guys know, my plans are to make some lava here and to make a new floor. It goes on the other side of the door on the inside, and maybe a big floor for the inside, maybe not. It doesn't seem like there's a high enough step to really worry about it. Like Castle Grayskull had that pretty good sized step that was kind of weird and kind of segregated it. You know what's interesting? I just noticed this. Look at this. Those stairs continue on below the below here. Now let's get this closer. This is whoa. This is so weird. It's like you can walk all the way down to the ground. If this wasn't here, ugh. Come on out. It's like stairs at a beach house. You can go all the way to the front. The other one doesn't have that. The other one's just rocks going down. That's just so weird looking. I guess you can walk right into the lava if you made the lava flow come out. Let's see. What did you say? What am I measuring? Wow. Does Hebrew have his own castle? I did not have my own castle. Let's see. Would you measure the stairs length of the wall on both versions? Let's take a look here. Let's see. Oh, you mean like this? It's approximately 10 inches from the top to where it hooks up. And on this one, it is like 8 inches. So you get 2 more inches of length on these stairs here going up. Is that what you're asking for? Oh, off the wall. Okay, how deep are they? How deep do the stairs go? The deepest point is right here, and it's about 2 inches. Up here, you have almost no room at all. It's just barely over an inch. So it depends where you measure from. But the deepest point is a 2-inch spot, but not a good standing area. Here's a better standing area, but this sticks out so far that it's hard to get a figure to stand up there. Because you can see his back is running into that spot. So you can kind of get him up there. Yeah, there's just not a lot of room to fit a figure to stand, which is why the peg hole's just... There we go. He's going to end up falling though, I think. Yeah, it's not really great for lining up your figures for a group shot. You'd have to have them against the wall, like they're getting their mug shot taken. And probably have one knee up and one down. Ooh. Yeah, it's just pushing him too far forward. He just wants to keep falling. Let's try this bottom peg down here, which is actually really close to the bridge when the bridge is installed. So you could put a figure there pretty easily. So that would be your prime location to store a figure. But he'll have 1 foot on the bridge too, because the bridge goes right there. Yeah, in fact, now that the bridge is there, you can see that peg hole is hardly even visible at all. There's just not a lot of room. Let me scoot this over so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you can kind of see that peg hole just There just isn't a lot of room. There we go. But then again, there's a second peg hole right there on the bridge. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to have somebody, unless you're going to put both feet in there. And they'll really be stable then. So that would be a really good location to put somebody. And then I guess, that's as high as my light goes, you could then turn his waist and have him attacking like that or something. Maybe turn this foot. Oh, dude, your mouth's hanging open. There we go. And there's a peg hole here. There's a peg hole here. I don't know why I'm calling peg holes. There's a peg here, and a peg here. No hole. And there's a peg up here. I'm surprised there's not a peg here. If you were going to place pegs, this would be a prime location to have one. Right there on the pivot point, where I'd probably put a bad guy aiming either down or a good guy aiming up. And that's a nice little platform. But to stand a guy there without a peg hole, it's at a slight angle. You probably got, yeah, you have a slope right here. So you'd have to really angle his ankles down. And even then, trying to get them not to fall off. There we go. So you could put one up there, but the odds of them falling is pretty high. All right, hopefully I answered your guys' questions. I just got Castle Grayskull for 30 bucks, says Rob D. Nice. Did you see what I said, Hebro? Awesome Toy Geek. Probably not. Let's see. Where? Awesome Toy Geek. The new Snake Mountain looks like a kid's toy from Fisher Price. Plus the mic isn't there again. The mic needs to be there to be a Snake Mountain to me. You know what? You are right about that. If you look at the box, the old box from the 80s, that was the selling point, was the big old sound effect you could do with your Snake Mountain with the microphone. And that was cool. And you're right, it does look very Fisher Pricey. But remember, Mattel owns Fisher Price. So there you go. Yeah, the thickness on here, the lack of paint on here. Even the Wolfhead's paint is pretty lacking. It has some, just the mouth and the eyes, it looks like. Let me pull that out of there and let's take a look. Yeah, they painted inside the mouth. He does still look kind of rat-like instead of wolf-like. And then the red eyes. But no, I can't tell if the inside of the ears are painted or that's just the shading I have in my room here. Yep, the ears don't look like they're painted. I guess I could grab my black light and see where the paint is. All right, well, I think that is a wrap. Let me check out your guys' final questions. They should have made that 3 to 4 inches off the wall. Yes, it would have been way cooler if the stairs had more space in order to stand a figure. And either put pegs or don't put pegs. You know, be more strategic about putting pegs. Like this peg is worthless, it's in the way. No peg up here is kind of weird. This peg right here is good, but it's already a super nice flat surface, so not totally required. What's funny is, look at this. I think this cracked me up yesterday. So I shackled this guy up here so He-Man can save him, but he never got around to saving him. But if you have him fall forward, it looks like he's sitting on the ledge. He's just sitting around waiting for his doom. And I didn't realize that he could sit like that on the ledge. And it's kind of funny. He could be shackled and sit at the same time. You don't got to stand the whole time, man. You can sit and relax while you're being captured by Skeletor. He doesn't believe in making people torture too much. Have a seat. Take a load off. See, that Skeletor's a nice guy. All he wants is just some of the power that He-Man's taken all of. Can you replace them? Let's see. Are the shackles removable? I don't know if they are or not. I don't want to try. I actually do like them because, like I said, they're really rubbery. And so, a lot less chance of them breaking, I think, than the hard plastic ones. I think they did a really good job designing them. And normally, I am totally against these kinds of things because, like that one time they used real chains, and of course, you know, chains ruin the paint on figures. So usually, I'm not a fan of that, but in this case, they work very well. Nice. Steelby Studios is going to get his Snake Mountain soon. Skeletor is a nice bad guy. Nice. Chris Foley just guided us today. He's already painting the throne white and brown. Difficult, he says. Mechaneck can't even fit on the ledge. Bend your feet. Yeah, I have to admit, this ledge is probably the biggest ledge in the whole entire set. And a figure can stand on there, kind of. His foot's hanging over a little bit, but it is kind of cool they made that ledge the biggest. But if someone's going to climb up this hill here, you can see there's just not a lot of room. I mean, you can't even stand on this little bottom piece down here at all. This ledge sticks out so far, you have to literally crawl up here, like you're crawling up a little cave. It's not very conducive for getting up there. Now, if you had those itty-bitty He-Man figures, it'd work really good. So, playability, the front of this is not that great. You know, let's take a look at the other one. I'm just curious. Let's see what the playability is for the front of this. I'm talking smack about the new one, but maybe the old one has the same problems. Okay. Guess I'll scoot this down and move my camera over. Now again, these are the new figures, but the old figures are the same size basically. So let's take a look here. Let's first try the Shackle shelf. So you could stand a figure there. It has some ridges to make sure it's flat, so that's kind of cool. Here, you got the same problem though, but once you get past that first little section, a figure can stand there. Not perfectly, but he can. Then the snout's in the way. Then you get to the bridge. Every time I say that, I always think of Star Trek. The bridge. And the bridge is super narrow, which I always thought was funny. But he can still navigate it. I always thought these should be like waist high. But that looked weird as having these big old tall things with this skinny little bridge. And then when you get to this side, believe it or not, you can still stand a figure there. So there were lots of areas you could stand your figure. Right here's a prime spot. Up here is a prime location for a figure to stand too. On the old one. And then of course, way up here, as long as you're not standing on the trap door itself. And then if you got really tricky, you could put a figure along here. It's a little bit harder to do. You'd have to, of course, the old figures couldn't do it at all, probably. I don't know. It'd be kind of hard because the stairs are more like just roughed up ground as opposed to stairs. Yeah, the angle of attack's a little bit too much to have a figure stand there. Let's point his toe. Let's give him the highest possible chance to get this. You can do it, man-at-arms. Oh. Oh, almost. Almost. Let's point it this way. Oh, oh. Oh, it almost stayed that time. All right, it's not going to work. His back's hitting the top too much and pushing him over each time. He's just a pushover. But it did have more space, just barely, in there. Ooh. All right. I am dying of heat. This lamp behind me is just shining down. So I think I might call it the end. Let's take a look. Mike, very frustrating. Philip says, rewatch later. Going to bed now. Good night, man. Yes, Vine Jungle. A bit of blue tack. Yes, the blue tack would help a lot. Vine Jungle Factory says, me, paint job man. Nice. Watching this review is very frustrating. I'm not rushing to get this anytime soon. Well, if you are rushing to get it, I have a link in the description for Amazon. Right now, it's the lowest price it's been in a while, according to their website. I don't think it is, but whatever. Whatever Amazon wants to say, they can say, right? So, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm hoping to do a video soon about other figures that fit into the new playset, and then also trying to do some new stuff with my lava that you guys have seen me work on. So I will see you guys next video. Hebrew, does the snake have a function? The manual says you can knock figures from the top. Chris, it kind of does. It's kind of tricky. I showed it earlier, but that's okay. I'll show you now since you're here. Let's go ahead and get this on. So the snake articulates in 3 places. Actually 4. We got the head here and the mouth. That's 2 of them. Then we have an articulation point right here, which rotates up and down. And then we have one right here that rotates up and down. So between all those articulation points, if you have the snake back like this, okay, Manny faces. Okay, Mechaneck, you're going down. All right, so if you have it set up like this, you have to rotate this up and then rotate this down and then open the mouth. So it's up and then down at the same time. And then that will bring your snake over to chomp somebody. So it's not like the other one where it would rotate around, which makes a whole lot more sense. Having this thing just zip around and smack them right into the thing. It was much easier to control. Even has a lever on the inside to do it, so you can do it from the inside of Snake Mountain. But the new one, not quite so cool. Hey, thanks for the $5. I really appreciate it. Let's see who sent that to me. Hey, Bullwinkle80. Thanks for the cash. I appreciate it. Always helps out. Like, subscribe, and post in the lounge, and donate to help this channel. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. All right. Anyway, there is a link, like I said, in the description here for Amazon. So you don't have to actually go anywhere else but here if you want to see it. Yeah, it was really stiff when I first moved it up and down. Somebody online told me about it, or actually here on this channel, they actually posted in the description about there was more articulation points than I realized. And that's the one. It's really stiff and hard to do. It took a lot of movement to get it a little bit loose like this. then again, if you do it at the same time, you can get pretty good at it. All right, let's try it now that I have it loosened up a little bit. There we go. Then you can grab him and then roll it back. Dun dun dun. Yeah, Chris, no problem. Yeah, it is tricky. Yeah, Weird Fantastical Adventures. I have a real Facebook page. I don't use it for anything. Yep. Yeah, if you're not on Facebook and you don't want to have yourself exposed, just make up a fake account and just post the He-Man stuff. That's the easiest way. Call yourself like He-Man Mike or something. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Yep, the lounge is growing. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the lounge, and that's it. I'll see you next video. Bye now. Mike, can you and Bill... I can't see anymore.